Ballon d'Or winner. Michael Owen is here with us on talkSPORT Breakfast. Now, with them just 4 games away from a double, is it time to start giving Arsenal the credit they deserve?
Arsenal have been brilliant. They're going to be going 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League table as things stand. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0.
For the first time since 2006, the Gunners are Champions League finalists. It means Arteta's class of 2026 are 4 games away from immortality.
They've cheated their way to winning the Premier League. It's illegal the way they're winning games.
Second again. Oh, yes, you'll be.
Could be one of the most underwhelming league titles ever from Arsenal. Set piece United.
1-0 to the Arsenal. That was incredibly dull.
They've just become like this meme football club. It's Mikel Ted Lasso right now.
Do Arsenal now just look like Stoke under Tony Pulis?
Boring Arsenal.
Some might say we've been a little bit harsh on Arsenal this season, but there we go. A few games away from winning a double, a few games away from winning the Premier League, and 90 minutes away from winning the Champions League for the first time ever. But it seems like they've had criticism from pretty much everywhere all season. Michael Owen, you're with us this morning. What's your thoughts on the Arsenal?
I mean, on the cusp of greatness, really, isn't it? It's a fantastic result last night. If you had said maybe a couple of weeks ago when they got beat by Manchester City, and all of a sudden the momentum's with City and everybody's starting to think, wow, are they going to bottle it? Champions League is difficult with Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain in the competition still. And you start thinking, wow, is this all the promise of this season is going to be worth nothing? And now all of a sudden everybody's thinking, could this be a double? Obviously the biggest double that you can get in football, basically. And it really could happen. Absolutely.
I think they have to get it over the line, don't they? Because even if you look at the Premier League, Liverpool not been at it this season. Manchester United are improving. Chelsea so poor. Manchester City, a lot of new players coming in. This is the season that you'd say they have to get over the line, especially in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The competition hasn't been great against them. Liverpool have probably been the biggest culprits. I thought Liverpool had retained it at the start of the season. I thought it was between Liverpool and Arsenal at the start of the season. But Liverpool have slipped away, and it's been Manchester City, really, who are in a transition period. Half their team are new. So it is the season to do it. The only one thing I would stick up for Arsenal is that lots of people accusing them of bottling it and things like that in the past. But I ask you one thing: apart from Leicester, what other team wins the league and doesn't come second and third in the build-up? No team just comes from 10th and goes and wins a league. It's virtually impossible. So even Liverpool over the years, they came second loads of times in the last sort of 10 years and only won it once or twice. But so Arsenal, I know they probably had opportunities in the past, but that is part of learning. That is part of the process of becoming a very good team, is step by step. I mean, they came semi-finals in the Champions League last season, second in the league. It was a brilliant, that is unbelievable. And for people then to question the manager and question everything about it, I just found really staggering. And Arsenal did the right thing, obviously sticking by their manager. But even so, if they didn't win the Premier League this year and they got, and they lose the final, there'd still be questions again. And you just think, no, that's another step closer. That's progress. But people want success yesterday, don't they? But no, I've been impressed with them. Yes, they've been given a little bit of a leg up in the Premier League with some teams underperforming, and they've had a lovely passage in a way through the Champions League. But you still can't take it away from them. If they win the double, that is unbelievable.
But are you impressed with the style? Do you like how they play? And I mean, you've played in great teams. Is this Arsenal team a great team?
They could go and win the double and still possibly not get the credit as being a great team. For a couple of the reasons I've just mentioned, as I say, the opposition in the Premier League this season, for a nice passage in the Champions League. But they absolutely are an exceptionally good team, very efficient, very functional. You do well to beat Arsenal. Defensively, the goalkeeper, the back four, even their holding midfielders, they're bloody hard to score a goal against. And for that reason, they've ground their way to success this season, or on the cusp of it. So I still think you could look at them and think, I'd like to see them a bit more flair and attacking a little bit better. Obviously, they do rely on set pieces a little bit. But, I understand where criticism comes from. But you've got to doff your cap to them and say they're a very, very difficult team to beat.
Arsenal probably struggled in recent years, haven't they, with a striker?
Yeah.
Because Gabriel Jesus, great player, but he always likes to drop off on the edge of the box. How entertained have you been by Gyokeres? How good has he done? Because he scored them goals that they've needed, haven't they?
Yeah, I'd say okay. I'd say, he's certainly not been a disappointment, but he's certainly not set the place on fire. I think he's scored about 14 Premier League goals this season. He's in the 20s in terms of in all competitions. Yes. So solid, for somebody like that. I still don't think, the problem is there's not that many great centre forwards about, and Arsenal have been searching and searching and searching, and they've got an Havertz that can do a good job, and I really rate Havertz, and they've got a Gyokeres and they've got a Jesus, as you say, but none of them are just, none of them are the Haaland, are they? The Mbappe, the Kane that everybody's looking for. And to be that is, they're hard to find, let's say. So they're doing brilliantly well with a player that doesn't go and score, 30 odd goals a season.
Would you have liked to gone up against Gabriel? It was more housery from him last night. Would you take that on?
Well, I suppose you would take it on, but I mean that's one of their strengths of the team, isn't it? Gabriel, Saliba, it's pretty formidable. A Konate, a Van Dijk, maybe a year or two, everybody's saying that's the best combination, but I think these guys, certainly this season, have surpassed those players, and it's just a very, I think the goalkeeper is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and they just don't give much away. They're very efficient, and it takes all sorts. That's the beauty of football. You can win it in the Pep Guardiola way. You can win it in the Jurgen Klopp way. Back in the day, you can do it the way that Arteta's doing it now. And you've got to get the best out the players you've got. And that's the point of it.
Do you think some people have a short memory in football though? Because there was a funny clip of Theo Walcott asking Wayne Rooney, "How would your 2009 team, that great Manchester United team, get on against this Arsenal side?" And he says, "We smashed them." Do you think we are like people now forget how good the players were 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago?
I would say, well, I'm not sure whether they forget, but football has changed so much. It's very prescriptive now, isn't it? You don't have the mavericks like you used to. Again, answering your question, going back in those times, even going back a bit further, your Bergkamps, your Cantonars, your Zolas, your Letiziers, these players that just were genius players. You give the ball to them, but they wouldn't do the hard yards out of possession. You can't imagine Cantona pressing and Letizier pressing, can you? But these players lit up the league. They were, scoring unbelievable goals and their assists and just their general play.
Freedom, didn't they?
Now you have to be able to run, don't you? You have to be able to run.
It's a different game now altogether. You talk back about that team, Rooney's team. It's just such a different time in football.